Hello, everybody. Mr. Fearless here. It's a nice Wednesday up here in New Hampshire. Today we have our second video request from another one of my former teammates. So I will be talking about the 2017-18 St. Thomas football team, last year's team. I'm going to be talking about the seniors, going over some of the intangibles and physical traits that allowed us to play how we played. Um, so first off, I'm going to start with Gavin Schoon, left tackle for us and a defensive end. Schoon definitely had the size that allowed him to play how he did. He was just so much bigger than most of the kids that we played. He was able to kind of manhandle most of them, just toss them to the side. He's like 6'4", maybe 6'3". Very tall. He actually, for as big as he was actually quite quick and athletic and agile, which definitely when there was like screens and plays where he was pulling, it allowed him to get out there and make the blocks and set everything up the right way. For our next player that I'm going to be talking about, which is Tim Bouchard, so for Tim, I'm just going to name off some of these stuff. Speed. He had the football smarts. Tim just, even though he only started playing as a freshman, he managed to pick up just the overall knowledge of the game very quickly and was able to understand how to beat another team using strategy. Tim also, I think, had his heart and his determination to play the game was unlike most of the other people that I've ever played with. If you watched him run with the football this past year, it was very hard to bring him down. It was 4 or 5 people. He was just running with determination, just carrying people on his back, running to like his fullest ability. And Tim's not a large person by any means. He was definitely one of the fastest on the team, and but he was still able to just muscle his way through defenders time and time again. It was one of the most exciting seasons to watch a running back that we've ever had, for myself at least. So next up, Keegan Hatfield. I forgot about him in my last St. Thomas video, so I made that shout-out video for him. Keegan, I think, had the heart of a lion, because he wasn't always the biggest, but he was playing as a linebacker most of the time. And so as a linebacker, size is usually something that's kind of key, size and strength. But Keegan had the strength, he just didn't have the size. But he was also very quick and agile. So when he got in the backfield, if he wasn't getting blown up by a pulling guard like he did quite a few times, and we had some good laughs about that during film, he was able to get in the backfield and make the plays. He was a solid tackler. And like I said yesterday, special teams was kind of his specialty. First game of the year, first play kickoff, Keegan runs down the field, strips the ball. That kind of set the tone for the season for us, at least for that game. The junior year, he had a block punt against Trinity, which I'm pretty sure he recovered for a touchdown too. So, special teams, it's something that not a lot of people take seriously all the time, but he knew that it was important. Just his overall smartness, like not even necessarily football intelligence, but just brain power as a total. Next up, Lucas Banyan. I've been playing football with Lucas since I was 7 years old. Lucas has some of the best hands on the team for sure, playing as our so-called tight end, but he split out wide most of the time playing tight end. His general size allowed him to be a tight end just because he had the size to be able to block some of the linebackers. His physicality, Lucas never used to be a kid who would hit hard. He was afraid of hitting, but these past years in high school, Lucas got very physical, and he was making hits all over the field. If you just watch him, you'd see kids on the ground everywhere around him. And so his size factor was huge too, and he was actually decently fast still after all his injuries that he's had throughout his years. And so next, I guess I'll talk about myself here. Don't want to put myself first or last. So obviously my general size was part of the reason that I was so good, I would suppose. About 6 foot, 6'1" ish, 225 pounds. One thing I guess I was known for was playing aggressively. Wasn't always clean, but I wouldn't call myself a dirty player. It was more retaliation most of the time. I was always hitting people, and just my defensive mindset and defensive intelligence, I think, was ahead of most people, just because I've been around the game for so long since I was 7 years old, and I've been around coaches my entire life. Just picking up the the fundamentals of the game and of defense. I think it really helped me progress myself through my last 2 years. But then next up, I'm going to talk about Griffin Quinn. He was an offensive lineman and defensive lineman. He wasn't. He didn't have the size of Schoon or myself or Lucas, but Griffin, he had decent size, but he was very quick for an offensive lineman, and he had quick hands. He had a good quick punch off the line, so he had his hands on you before you could really even barely get out of your stance some of the times. And Griff's very smart in school, and so he was able to understand the blocking concept that we use for like zone runs and some of our zone pass blocking schemes that we ran with our spread offense. And so he was a big help on the inside for picking up pass protection and allowing Sean time to throw the ball down the field on some of our deep passes. So next, Jack Zhao played defensive line for us, all the way from over in China. Jack was very powerful. He was like a bull, just straight bull rush. I've never really seen someone as powerful as Jack. He had quite a bit of size to him, and for never really having played football before his like junior year, he actually picked up what our defensive line coach Rich Clough was trying to teach him very fast, and it actually allowed him to get a good decent amount of snaps in his senior year, switching out between him, Dan Yauch, and Griffin Quinn, and Kyle Samulish up on the defensive line at the defensive tackle position all year long, just keeping our guys fresh. And then next we have Nathan Poulin. Nathan did not play a whole lot his senior year or his junior year, but I think one of the key things that I think made Poulin such a great player was his ability to be a great teammate. His freshman year, he was the ball boy for us, traveled to every game, just helping the team out. And then at the beginning of this year, he had mono, but he was still coming to practice. He was filming practice, filming the games. He was always helping with the freshmen, the younger kids, helping Chris Demoulas when he didn't know what the hell the route tree was, helping with the water and all that kind of stuff. A good person to have on the sideline in the locker room. Good person to have by your side as a friend. So last but not least, we got Cade Bossman. Cade was a running back for us in a corner. He had some injuries this year, pulled hammy, but when he was in, he was making a difference. He was very shifty, very quick on his feet through the holes. I remember the scrimmage up in we had against Bo, and there was another team up there for a 3-team scrimmage, but Cade had like 3 touchdowns on 3 runs, and he could squeeze through the holes really well. He was pretty fast. Got some really hairy legs too. Probably could have been faster if he shaved them. But I mean, if he had been healthy, I think he would have had a great season this year. It was sad to see someone in their senior year, obviously, finally getting to start, go down to injury. I mean, I myself had quite a few injury issues throughout my last 3 years due to concussions and shoulder issues. And but as a team, I think this senior class was actually really strong. We might not have had a lot of players in the senior class, but just our willingness to try and win, go out there and win every game, I think definitely gave us a good chance to do that every game, especially against teams that we knew were our rivals, kind of like Plymouth and Wyndham. I mean, we didn't beat Plymouth or Wyndham this year, but those were definitely probably some of the most fun losses I've ever had, if you can count a loss as being fun. So that's going to be all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, leave a comment. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.